Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Thursday, April 7th, 2022, and I feel like it's 2017 again. On this day, 5 years ago, I was talking about the significance of Donald Trump swearing in his first Supreme Court Justice, Neil McGill Gorsuch, and why April 7th was such an appropriate day for the ritual that was. Of course, he replaced Antonin Scalia, who died in a ritual while out hunting with his secret society pals, a secret order of the Catholic Church, the Knights of St. Hubertus. But anyhow, today, April 7th, 4-7, the 97th day of the year. You can't find a more fitting date in the entire 365-day calendar year to swear in a Supreme Court justice. So again, Trump got his first pick on this day. Now Biden about to get his pick on this day. She's about to be voted in. And if you've been missing the work that I've been doing on her nomination and Stephen Breyer's retirement, I predicted why, this very well might be the date again back in February. And here we go. In Gematria, very simple practice coding numbers into words. If you turn A into 1, B into 2, C into 3, D into 4, E into 5, F into 6, G into 7, so on, up to Z, the 26th letter equals 26, and add up the letters of judge. J's the 10th letter. U's the 21st. D's the 4th. G's the 7th. E's the 5th. It adds up to 47. And you might even notice that in that number sequence, D's the 4th letter, G's the 7th, there's a 4-7 in the word. If you use numerology, judge equals 20 instead of 47. If you run the alphabetic order in reverse, judge equals 88. And if you run the alphabetic order in reverse with numerology, judge equals 25. And you might recall Donald Trump, his name equals 47, 88, 25. His surname does. Trump is 47, 88, 25. And the first Supreme Court justice he swore in, Neil McGill Gorsuch, his name had Gematria of 85. Notice, the tool a judge uses, a gavel, has the exact same gematria, 47, 20, 88, 25. Again, gematria based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. You know where you can learn these types of things from? Aleister Crowley, the famous occultist that is of so much influence in so many ways. Just look at some of the political buildings over there in the UK where he resided. They're using the same symbol he used for his occult religion, Thelema. And, of course, Aleister Crowley wrote many books on Gematria, major influence for a lot of people, especially in the world of music and entertainment and the British invasion, rock and roll bands. Anyway, this is the language of the Cabal. If you've ever heard that term, the Cabal, it comes from Kabbalah. And on the opening page of the Book of Formation, the most important text in Kabbalah, it says, God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. This is how government plays God over our lives every day, orchestrating their rituals by a simple code. And notice in these same ciphers, Ketanji, that's the name of the new justice, her name has gematria of 25 as well as 47. And again, what are the odds? And she's being voted in on 4-7. And again, today is the 97th day of the year. The word supreme is 97. She's going to become a member of the Supreme Court. Keep in mind, 97 is the 25th prime number. That's interesting because, again, Judge, Gavel, and Ketanji all equal 25, as does Trump, who, again, got his first justice on this day 5 years ago. And remember, when Trump was voted in as the winner of the 58th presidential election after announcing he'd run from his 58-story Trump Tower, don't forget secret society's 58, Freemasonry's 58, D.C.'s the land of the Jesuits and the Freemasons, the secret societies that abide by this code. But don't forget, the night that he won the rig selection for him, he was in the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel. And don't forget, when he lost to Biden, as we said he would a year in advance, we said why Biden would become number 46 in the election that was exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, when the word Catholic's 46, and he'd become the second Catholic president. The first was JFK assassinated age 46, not to mention the death of Beau Biden at 46. But again, you learn this code and you just see right through every last ritual these world governments are doing. And this goes on in the UK, it goes on in the US, it goes on all over the world. Again, English is the language of the world. It's the language that's learned and taught worldwide. Look at what's etched on those Georgia Guidestones, unite the world in one new living language. It's clear that that is English. But anyway, Supreme and judge. And what a day for it. And remember, at the end of the last election, you had Trump on the campaign trail saying, I've done more in 47 months than Biden's done in 47 years. And just to remind you how important this number is in D.C., 47. Again, president equals 47. Notice today on 4/7, the president's sister has COVID. So does Nancy Pelosi, the good Catholic. But anyway, she's asymptomatic and she's fully vaccinated and boosted. Anyway, on 4/7, the president's sister's got COVID. But president's 47, White House is 47, government's 47, authorities 47, Republicans 47, they came out of the Whig Party 47, Democrats 47, DC's 47, Trump's 47. Of course, Biden, before he was president, was the 47th vice president, and he took office with 47-year-old Obama. The cornerstone for D.C. laid September 18th, 1793, a date with 47 numerology. Again, big number in the history of D.C. So, you have this, and keep in mind the next Supreme Court justice is going to be the 116th Supreme Court justice in the history of the branch. African Americans 116. The name Barack Hussein Obama is also 116, the first African American president. And again, it's just par for the course, right? That was the whole criteria for this election. It had to be an African American woman. So how fitting that she'll fill the 116th slot in the history of the court. And let's not forget that the first African American Supreme Court justice, Thurgood Marshall, he was nominated in history on June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year. As we know, the Jesuit order equals 201. Huge number with rituals in D.C. because the Jesuits run D.C. It's why Stephen Breyer announced that he was retiring 201 days before his birthday, which also happens to be the same birthday as the Jesuits, August 15th. And it's also why Ketanji Brown Jackson was nominated 201 days before her upcoming birthday. And, you know, somebody called in last night to TFR and pointed out something very interesting that, you know, Thurgood Marshall's first wife just happened to drop dead on her 44th birthday from lung cancer. And notice in Gematria, lung cancer is 44, like cancer, chemo, and killer 44. Should remind you that the word ranch is also 44, and Antonin Scalia died in a very suspicious way while, again, hunting out with his Catholic buddies on a ranch on the 44th day of the year while number 44 was president. And that's what led to the installation of Neil McGill Gorsuch after Trump took office. Obama was number 44, but Trump was the 44th person to be president. That's because Grover Cleveland had the split term, so it messed up the count. But just to remind about Antonin Scalia, notice how his name with the alphabetic order, forwards it's 132 and reverse it's 219. Rome's 51, Jesuits 84. He's the first Roman Catholic justice. And again, Roman Catholic is 132 and 219. And what day was his body in the casket lying in repose at the Supreme Court? On 2/19, February 19th. And then there was a whole lot of stuff with Antonin Scalia's death. It was literally predicted in a Family Guy episode that his death was synced up with. Again, we're living out scripts. And when you know Gematria, you can see how the cartoons are more than just cartoons. From The Simpsons to Family Guy, they're revealing the script that's going to unfold that we're living out, that we call the news, that we call history. Again, it's a joke. It's a big, sick Jesuit joke is what it is. And, you know, it's just like The Simpsons. Their 487th episode was about the Ukrainian refugees. Remember, the name of that episode in Gematria equaled 191, like Society of Jesus, like Unconquered Sun. From the 487th birthday of the Jesuits, it was the 487th episode of The Simpsons, to the military conflict in Ukraine, 191 days later, just like the Gematria of the episode. And we know how many rituals they do with that number 191 in the Jesuits. Hello, Beau Biden, dead on the 191st day of Joe Biden's age. Hello, Adolfo Nicholas, the last Superior General of the Jesuits, dead on the 191st day of the current Superior General's age, so on and so forth. But anyhow, you learn this code. Again, there's only one gang that could be responsible for it. They're the ones that gave us the language and the calendar that it's all synced up with, and it's the Catholic Church and the Jesuits. You can prove it all day, every day, if you have critical thinking and logic. And, again, there's no way things would line up like this over and over, ritualistically, in circles, if it was anything else. And again, if you've missed the work that I've done on Stephen Breyer's retirement, his retirement was also synced with Kamala Harris, the first black, the first woman and first black woman in the Oval Office. And now we're getting the first black Supreme Court justice synced up with her. Stephen Breyer's full name is 99, and he announced his retirement 99 days after her birthday. Again, not an arbitrary number. The United States of America, 99, named on September 9th, 99. The Illuminati, founded by a Jesuit on a date with 99 numerology, so on and so forth. But okay. With regards to Thurgood Marshall, again, he was nominated on the day leaving 201 days left in the year, June 13th. After his wife died, he remarried, and just so happens that the woman he remarried to is born on the 201st day of the year. And again, what's the point that I'm making? That these people are in arranged marriages. It's why all of these rituals are so redundant, while the patterns line up over and over, the same numbers are paid tribute to. It's like if you want to be on the big stage, if you want to be a Supreme Court justice, and let's not forget that, Clarence Thomas, all these guys are Catholic. But, of course, Clarence Thomas replaced Thurgood Marshall. They're all Catholic. But again, that's pretty much the rule to be on the Supreme Court. You got to be Catholic or Jewish. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Jewish, just died by the numbers on Rosh Hashanah of all days in a clear Jesuit ritual. And who replaces her? The Catholic from Notre Dame, right? But yeah, you look, all the perfect marriages, the perfect dates, the same redundant numbers, the same patterns in life and death, just the same thing over and over and over. And just to go to another big headline this week and just to, again, prove that it's undeniable that the federal government is nothing but kabbalistic ritual day after day because it's controlled by the Jesuit cabal. Again, Obama's on about the most Jesuit date of the year, April 5th, the 95th day of the year. Again, the Jesuits were created to counter the 95 Theses. Funny enough, counter-reformation equals 95, so does the Bavarian Illuminati, which they founded. But remember, they were recognized by Rome on September 27th, the day leaving 95 days left in the year. April 5th is the 95th day of the year. Obama's at the White House to tout the Affordable Care Act, and he's doing it exactly 121 days before his birthday. Affordable Care Act 121. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Barack Obama's 229, and this just happened to be 229 days before Biden's birthday. And keep in mind, 229 is the 50th prime number, and America equals 50, the land of 50 states and a million territories. Washington equals 50. Jesuits, the plural's 50. Just perfect rituals. And also the Superior General, the leader of the Jesuits, this was 144 days after his birthday, Jesuit Order 144, just like they simulated the election at Jesuit Georgetown 144 days before it happened that Biden would win. President Biden equals 144, I should mention. Not Donald Trump, but Barack Obama, he had to introduce Biden as the vice president that day. And again, he might as well be. He might as well be. He's always going to live in Obama's Jesuit shadow. But, and again, just the point we're making about 201, let's not forget what happened to Beau Biden, dead 201 days before the Pope's birthday. The first Jesuit Pope, the first to ever live in Suite 201, the one whose birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio's 201, to go with that long Jesuit history of 201. And, the day that SciManDan announced that Gematria was bullshit, on that same day, this was going on here in the U.S., Biden signing the much-needed anti-lynching bill. And it dedicated to Emmett Till. When Emmett Till was supposedly killed, which is probably another bullshit history story that never happened, like most things in history, just total loads of bullshit. Biden was 12 years and 9 months old. That's how old Biden was when the Emmett Till thing happened. 12 years, 9 months old. And notice, he signs this bill 129 days after his birthday, Emmett Till 129, and he signed it 129 days before Obama's birthday. And as Kayla pointed out, Emmett Till whistled at a white woman, which supposedly got him lynched on August 24th, the day leaving 129 days left in the year. And remember what 129 is. It's 201 in base 8 counting. Georgetown equals 129, the first Jesuit university. In Jewish Gematria, America equals 129. But just think about it. And again, the point I'm making is these guys are born for the throne. These are the chosen puppets from a young age because they come from the right Catholic Jesuit families. Biden happens to be from Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of The Office that ran 201 episodes, where in nearly every episode you see the Jesuit prep school flag from Scranton. And let's not forget, they took Mr. Krasinski from that show and had him play the Jesuit-educated CIA agent Jack Ryan from the Tom Clancy series, where he makes quotes that the Jesuits run the world, they're just humble about it. And let's not forget the CIA was established 201 days after the Pope's birthday, September 18th, 47. Same day in history, the cornerstone was laid for D.C. And let's not forget the words in the CIA's logo, Central Intelligence Agency, United States of America, 201. But, again, the other part of this joke was that it happened on 29/3, the 29th of March, 293, the 62nd prime, the word Lynch 62, and Obama's old Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, is 62 at the time of the joke. And, again, you run the alphabetic order in reverse with numerology, anti-lynching is 62. So, what are the odds? An anti-lynching bill dedicated to Emmett Till where everything just lines up so perfectly, even lines up with his life back then, because it's all part of the bullshit script. And it's sad to think that's probably how long ago it was planned that Joe Biden would be the 46th president. You know, he wins the 59th election. Pope Francis, 59. Benedict stepped down on the 59th day of the year for Francis. John F. Kennedy, 59, the only Catholic president before. Again, just living out the script. Bloodlines. People born for the throne. An oblivious society that doesn't see the forest for the trees. They can't see the way they're being laughed at. Should have saw it clear as day in 2000 when the 43rd president was elected thanks to the state where his brother was the 43rd governor, and of course his daddy was the 43rd vice president, and they are both members of Yale Skull and Bones, where Yale equals 43, and Bush just happened to graduate with the class of 911 members, and then was in office when 9/11 happened, and not to mention that was in 1968 when World Trade Center construction began, and 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. Again, a group of people, a club of people, like George Carlin, the Catholic, said, it's a big club, and you're not in it. Joe Biden is. Kamala Harris is. The Bushes are. You know? Apparently, Ketanji Brown Jackson is. So, anyhow. And then again, just today, Nancy Pelosi and Biden's sister are sick, and the USA Today. Let's not forget USA Today's article about me from January 2016, trying to hate on my work for exposing Super Bowl 50 at the beginning of the season and helping people make tens of thousands of dollars. Both teams dead on. You know, we were early in the research back in those days. But USA Today chooses this photo to talk about Joe Biden's sister. Just happened to choose it from January 20th, 20/1, like Inauguration Day 201. Don't ever forget the Jesuit priest who did Biden's son's funeral also did Biden's inauguration. Again, the son dead at 46. He becomes number 46. He was the 47th president of Georgetown, Leo Jeremiah O'Donovan, whose name equals 201. The official day for the inauguration is called Inauguration of the President of the United States, right from the U.S. government's website. Inauguration of the President of the United States, 201, like 20/1. Like Event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation put on by the Jesuit Klaus Schwab the same day the military World Games began in Wuhan, China. Military World Games that are credited to the Jesuits. That's why they began in 95, like the Jesuits credited counter the 95 thesis. Like Biden and Obama on the 95th day of the year touting Obamacare. You know, we don't have medical care in this country. We have medical insurance, a big for-profit scheme for the club. That's why nothing about medicine is about prevention. It's all about treating the symptoms of mostly poor diet, which is something you learn nothing about in slave school, because they want you to be dumb and stupid and essentially a tax commodity, a financial instrument, you know, meant to make profit for those in the ruling class that don't work. You know, they just live off their investments and their dividends, you know. But yeah, on 4/7, you got to hear about, you know, Biden's sister, and of course Nancy Pelosi. She's got the same name, Gematria, as Washington, D.C., as Society of Jesus, as coronavirus, as COVID vaccine, as Gavin Newsom, the guy who said in 8 weeks, 56% of California have coronavirus, where 8 weeks is 56 days. And, of course, that's the number of COVID. SciManDan over in his country, Boris Johnson. Again, SciManDan said that that you can't compare these ciphers, but it's funny because, when they had the UK strain in the UK, at first they said it was 70% more infectious, and then they toned it down and said it's only 56% more infectious, and again, 56 is 70 in base 8 counting, and COVID vaccine is 56 and 70, and Corona Del Mar's 56 and 70, where it just so happened Kobe got buried as coronavirus was breaking out. And let's not forget Kobe Bryant, dead at 41 on the 41st day of the Pope's age while traveling from Catholic Mass. What are the odds? Dead on his 157th day being 41. Can't compare the ciphers, huh? Wrong. But, the other thing I've been documenting is all these big abortion things that are happening. Every single time you can see the clear Jesuit fingerprints on it. Now, Oklahoma, right next to Texas, that kind of started the ritual. That was back on September 1st, 2021. Oklahoma just north, on the 95th day of the year, comes with a near total ban on abortion. And notice there were 84 votes, 70 in favor of the bill, Jesuit 84, Vatican 70, came 144 days after the Superior General's birthday. And what is abortion ultimately? It is the Catholic and Jesuit number one tool for keeping people divided when it comes to politics. And again, these are their mottos: divide and conquer, order out of chaos. Abortion is the number one divider and the number one issue that most people vote on. This is what keeps people entrenched in voting for these sold-out political parties that don't represent anyone, that are all part of the stage, the illusion. And again, again, coming back to it, for a lot of people, it's abortion. It's the number one issue far and away. And again, the reason I say I don't know why anyone votes Democrat is because, what do they do when they come in office? Make things more expensive? Again, I can't think of any reason anybody would want to vote for this party. We need more money for education. It's like, do we need more money for education? We already spawned a boatload. It's ridiculous how high property taxes are, and most of it goes to schools. It's like, let me do the math on this. In India, they're spending jack shit on their students, and look at who has all the best jobs in Americans. Oh, all the Indians over here on green cards, because they actually know how to do math. Indians, almost $0 per student spent. In America, it's thousands upon thousands of dollars spent per student, and they're fucking retarded. And again, it's all by design. They just need, you to be able to punch a button and open up a register and go out and buy some more shit. That's all they need from you as Americans. They just need you to be the good little consumer that pays their taxes, fills up their car with gas. That's all they need. Gets in debt, pays a bunch of money in interest to banks. That's all they need from you. That's why you're raised to be retarded. You're a commodity. But again, it doesn't have anything. It's proof right there that it doesn't have anything to do with that we need to spend more money on students to increase results. They're spending none on students in India. They're spending boatloads in America. India, they're brilliant. In America, they're retarded. So, that's the real math problem you need to solve. But okay. And then this, for SciManDan, who says my work's bullshit, what's bullshit is news media and government. Look at this headline today. Jobless claims match 1968 low. This happens to come on the 54-year anniversary of the Club of Rome being established, April 7, 68, 3 days after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., who was named the name Martin Luther after the Protestant Reformation leader who wrote the 95 Theses, only to be assassinated in the 95th day of 68, when Catholicism's 68, mathematics is 68, solar system 68. Again, all these rituals in sync with the sun, with the church that worships on Sunday, the big solar cult that the Catholic Church is. But look at this. You read the article, and it says that they've come to this, lowest since 68 based on a new formula that they came up with today. And this is what's so annoying about labor statistics and, unemployment statistics. They're always changing the way they calculate it, yet they tout these things like it's some kind of accomplishment. Right now in Washington State, where I live, there's an advertisement they're running on TV that they need more firefighters. There's a shortage of firefighters. That's something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime, because that was always a job that was in high demand, very hard to get. You had to know someone who knows someone, because a lot of people want that job. You kind of get to be a hero. It's exciting.
ladies like it. If you guys don't know that, man, ladies like firemen and police officers. It's too bad that well, firemen aren't so bad, but anyway, they like the uniform. And anyway, it's signs of the times, right? Nobody's working right now. Everywhere has every store has help needed, job opening. So how can unemployment be at an all-time low? It's like what they've done is created this generation that just wants to watch Netflix, never work, and they don't mind being poor as long as they can afford their Netflix and their ramen noodles and live on the government's tit. And that's what they're creating. And, you just read this article, the new low based on the new way to calculate as of today. It's like, and then I got clowns like SciManDan talking about that Gematria is bullshit when you can prove it literally every single day. Why don't you make a video saying government's bullshit? Because it is. Government is bullshit. Look in the UK again, your UK strain. By the way, when it was first 70% more infectious, United Kingdom, 70. The UK strain 70% more infectious. Omicron comes from the Greek alphabet, which is based on a letter and number system, just like Hebrew, just like English, and the numerical value of Omicron is 70. And that's why every headline about Omicron was 70, 70, 70, 70, 70, 70, 70 for like the first month. And not to mention, don't forget they broke that news on Black Friday, the first strain from the Black Continent, Africa. But, again, Boris Johnson reading the 56-page winter plan. And what logo's above the door at 10 Downing Street? Oh, that's right, the Jesuit Orders logo, the sun. The sun never sets on Britain. But you got the 56-page winter plan. You got the 56% more infectious strain. You got Boris Johnson while he's 56 years old at the start of the pandemic. You got him locking down London on remember the 5th of November, the day leaving 56 days left in the year. So, anyhow, let's play just SciManDan for a second. And then I'm going to show you how he's actually, as of this morning, he said he doesn't want to debate anymore. He wants to have his friend Conspiracy Cats debate for him. And it's funny how he seems to always respond in recent days to my Twitter posts instantly. But he told me a couple days ago he wanted to debate, but he will. It's just he's training really hard for a 120-kilometer marathon. And if he's doing that, props to you, because that's a very long run. That's impressive. I won't tell you what's behind the number 120, but by the way, the most common distance for, you see it all the time on the back of people's cars, the 26K. What's behind the number 26? A lot, including the word athlete. Again, SciManDan, you should read my first book, Why There's 26 Letters in the English Language. It'll blow your mind. But very special number. Some of the greatest athletes. Athlete 26, Bryant 26, Jordan 26, Kobe Bryant dead on the 26th, Bear Bryant dead on the 26th, Al Bryant of the Temptations dead on the 26th. He's probably an athlete too, as well as a wonderful singer. But anyway, let's listen to SciManDan for a second, and then we'll, I'll think about if I want to debate his secretary. That's not really what I want to do. He said he was going to debate. I think, honestly, he wants his secretary to do it because I think he realizes he's going to lose. So, SciManDan, I'd rather you man back up, find those gonads of yours, and let's have the debate like you agreed to a few days ago. Doesn't look like you're doing too much training unless you're out there running right now with your Twitter in your hand and you're like running and responding. Hard to imagine, but it's possible. Here we go.
So, they are the same, yes, but in different sections, are they not? Can't really compare them.
So the statement he's making is about how there's 4 base ciphers, and he's saying you can't compare them if they're not in the same cipher, which is just so... honestly, if I had to debate SciManDan on that point, the debate would last about 1 minute and he would lose. And let me just talk about America's pastime, baseball. Again, it's opening day here. Opening day. And again, it's called Major League Baseball. It's the MLB, and the most simple cipher, it's 162. How many games are in an MLB season? 162. What happens if I just take the word baseball alone and run the alphabetic order in reverse? Oh, it's 162. Amazing. And, the 63, it's a number that comes up in huge rituals every year. Last year at the All-Star break, I said, watch. By the end of the Field of Dreams game, the Yankees will get red hot, and they'll finish that game with 63 wins. And it seemed improbable because they had to win damn near every game. And do you know how many wins the Yankees had at the end of the Field of Dreams game? They had 63 wins. And every year they do big rituals with 63. The other year, you had the record set. June 3rd is the 154th day of the year. A few years ago on June 3rd, 6-3, like Major League Baseball, you had the record for grand slams. You also had the first no-hitter of the season, and I believe the pitcher's birthday was March 6th, which can be written 6-3. But Major League Baseball, it's also 351 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse. What number is that? That's the 26th triangular number. Game equals 26. Ball game, 26. Common terminology in baseball, a ball game. And 117, another number that gets used ritualistically again and again. Not to mention we just nailed the World Series again, the 117th World Series. I've nailed the World Series almost every year I've been doing Gematria. Almost every year I've nailed the World Series from the beginning. And where I haven't nailed in the beginning, we still nailed the World Series with plenty of time to spare before the season was over. But anyway, I shouldn't say I nailed it last year. I put out 4 teams before the season began. One of them had 20-1 odds, which was the Atlanta Braves who won it. They changed their park name to Truist Park, which equals 117. It was a sign they were going to be in the 117th World Series, especially after the death of Hank Aaron by the numbers in the big ritual. Not to mention the World Series began 201 days after Hank Aaron's home run record, surpassing the Babe Ruth. But 117, just another number that gets used ritualistically. Go back and look at the death of Roy Halladay, 2-time Cy Young winner on November 7th in a plane crash near Holiday, Florida. Halladay near Holiday. But November 7th leaves 54 days left in the year. And look at the word baseball. 54 in the most simple cipher, 54 when you run it in reverse with numerology. How many outs in a baseball game? 54. You notice how all these numbers up here break down to 9? How many innings are in a baseball game? 9, which represents completion in numerology. What about the 18, number we haven't covered yet? How many half innings in a baseball game? 18. 18 half innings, 9 total innings, And, remember Roger Maris, he hit 61 home runs in 1961 to set the record at the time. 61's the 18th prime number. Where does 61 come from? It comes from sacred geometry. In sacred geometry, remember Gematria means, Gematria, practice current numbers of words, means geometry and language. In sacred geometry, the flower of life's made of 61 overlapping circles. And again, it represents God. In Jewish gematria, God is 61. Words like Jesus, cross, church, they all got the 61. Christian, 61. Christmas, 61. Special numbers. IHS. With regards to the Jesus, and Jesus being a metaphor for the sun, sun's got the 18 in it. IHS, the letters in the Jesuit logo are 18 forwards and backwards. And, Jesuit order, their logo's the sun, 54. Also 72. Where's that fit in? Oh, the sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. Jesuit order 144, 1,440 minutes in a day, square root of 12, number of time, 12 hours in the morning and the evening, 12 months in the year, miraculous catch of 153. Again, none of this stuff's arbitrary. And the ciphers are definitely all related. My theory on why they coded these numbers into baseball is, again, everything comes back to the sun. All of these American sports are credited to Masons. Modern Freemasonry is credited to the Jesuit order. And the Jesuits are all about the sun and sun worship. And notice sun worship. 162, 54, forwards and backwards, and 108. Well, how many double stitches on a Major League Baseball? Major League 108, right? Remember the Cubs broke the 108-year drought? We said at the beginning of that season, the Cubs were guaranteed to win the World Series. Part of the reason it was obvious that they were going to break the 108-year drought is because Vegas was paying absolutely nothing for them, even in spring training. And it was the 112th World Series, where geometry is 108 forwards and backwards. And 108 is a number that relates to the sun. They say that the diameter of the sun is 108 Earths side by side. And they say that from the sun to the earth, that's the diameter of the sun 108 times side by side. And from the moon to the earth is the diameter of the moon side by side 108 times. Again, look it up. It's all in your science book. But geometry is 108 forwards and backwards. It has perfect symmetry, a key concept in your geometry class. Forwards and backwards is the exact same. And you notice it's got the 45 and 36 like IHS, which is also 18 forwards and backwards, which isn't that far off from 108. And Again, 108 double stitches on a baseball. Cubs break the 108-year drought, and they do it in the 112th World Series. And like I said, not only did I say the Cubs would win the World Series, I guaranteed they'd win it in Game 7 on November 2nd in the 112th World Series on 11/2, because it's mathematics and geometry. Mathematics 112, 112th World Series on 11/2. That's the day they beat the Cleveland Indians, the team that's set in the film Major League. And to be fair, before that season began, I predicted they would beat Houston. Houston got hot the next year and went to the World Series. And again, Vice News wrote their article about me calling Houston to beat the Dodgers, as they did in the next year's World Series. But anyway, when Houston got eliminated, it was still in the regular season. And I said, okay, if it's not Houston, then it's the Cleveland Indians. Still Game 7. And again, people filled their pockets. So the prediction from the start of the season about the Cubs was dead on. Wasn't quite right about Houston. Houston was a year away. But still, understanding the riddles, we were able to nail the right matchup in the right date, as we've done a number of times, well before the playoffs even started. And again, I mean, that's why there's nothing left for me to prove with this research. I have a gazillion correct predictions, sports, politics, news, every day. And it's not even about predictions. It's about showing that your government, that your news media is controlled by the cabal, which is the Jesuits, and this is how they orchestrate information every single day. Every single day. Why do you think they had to announce the return of Tiger to golf after his supposed car crash on the 95th day of the year? Masters 95. That was Tiger's 97th day of his age, and the Masters begins this year on the 97th day of the year, and he won his first Masters in 97. Again, this stuff's not an accident. It's the same ritual every year. It's how we called 3 years ago, we called Tiger to win the Masters. But we've called the Masters the last 3 years dead on before it began. But 3 years ago, it was easy because it's called the Masters. What are the master numbers in numerology? 22 and 11. What was it about 3 years ago for Tiger? It was 2019, 22 years from his first Masters win, and 11 years from his last major win. Remember, he stopped winning once the affair came out. Supposedly, he was cheating with the woman in hotel room 201 in the leaked text messages. The same guy who wears red and black on Sundays, the Jesuit colors. But, one of the stories is that he's wearing FootJoys for the first time ever. It's interesting because, the golf club there's 83. And, that's a magical number there in golf. If you don't know what it is, you might want to look into it. But, again, it's all ritual, you guys. It's provable every single day. You got to be completely dense and suffer from the most massive form of cognitive dissonance to deny Gematria and the body of work I've laid down over the course of going on 9 years. I mean, literally over 30,000 blog posts, over 10,000 videos, 2 big books that are both undeniable. Again, there's no argument against the relevance of Gematria. To say that it's bullshit just makes you look dumb. And I'm pretty sure that's why SciManDan just announced that he doesn't want to do the debate anymore. He wants to have his friend Conspiracy Cats fill in for him. And here, I'll let you guys see that in your own words, unless he deleted his tweet. But was it here? Okay. Oh, yeah. So he responds now and he says, I'm not debating, Cats is. And it's funny because Cats has been responding and corresponding with the emails, and at first he said he'd have Cats figure out what day was best with his schedule for him to debate, but now it's turned into Cats. So, yeah. So anyway, and realize he told me a couple days ago that he'd debate, but he can't right now because he's training. But what was amazing is he was able to respond to my request immediately. I thought, well, if you're not running right now, unless you're running and on Twitter all at the same time, but yeah, this is SciManDan's response to Affordable Care Act equaling 121 and Obama doing this 121 days before his birthday. And this might be why he retired from the debate. Guff and poop equals 121, just saying. Okay, what's that have to do with anything? Is that, yeah, if you type in enough things, you can come up with words that will have a numerical value. I don't hunt and peck for the pattern. The pattern reveals itself day after day. I didn't choose for people. There are people who think that that's the only reason certain people think that's a good argument and a fair point and something that debunks Gematria is because they're low functioning. Again, I didn't choose for Joe Biden to do an Emmett Till bill 129 days after his birthday, 129 days before Obama's, when the Emmett Till story goes back to him whistling at a white woman on the day, leaving 129 days left in the year while Biden was 12 years and 9 months old. You know, this is the federal government day after day. And the stuff they do reveals what they've done all throughout history, because they're doing the same things by the same patterns year after year, just like Ketanji Brown Jackson, you know, becoming Supreme Court Justice on the day she did. And, you know, Dan, if you think you have an intelligent audience over there, when I made the video for you, your legions of lemmings, and that's what you're doing. You might be a lemming yourself, but you're also leading people into becoming lemmings to their own destruction. And that's where we're being led by the powers that shouldn't be, to our destruction. But your lemmings, one of them left a comment like, why compare judge to gavel and not gown? Huh, huh, huh. And it had so many likes and so many comments by your lemmings like, yeah, good point. And it's like, is that a good point? Does a gown only, you know, relate to a judge? I'm pretty sure a lot of ladies wear gowns. Well, even at this day and age, a lot of men are starting to wear gowns. But a gavel, that's something that completely corresponds with the judge. That's the instrument of a judge. So, yeah, to compare judge and gown wouldn't make nearly as much sense as gavel. And it shows me that your group, you know, they're not that smart. Your channel's dedicated. And look at how many people. You know what's funny is how many people in the comments of my video left things making fun of me for being a flat earther. And I've always spoken out against flat earth and why I thought it was ridiculous. What you and flat earthers actually have in common, Dan, is that you're both really bad at math. Flat earthers are terrible at math. They don't know a thing about it. Hardly anyone does in this world. But Gematria has a lot to do with probability. And what I show day after day is improbable. Improbable. Again, Dan, I'll say it to you one more time. If you embrace this knowledge, your Patreon would grow. It would. I bet even people in my community would come over and start supporting you. You have almost no one on your Patreon, and I know you're in this for the money. Your channel's monetized. You're selling all kinds of shit. But you only got 200 people on that old Patreon. With the views that Google gives you, because they don't censor your channel because it's no threat to anything, realize Google is controlled. Your platform is... What day? Here, Dan, what day does Google celebrate their birthday? Oh, September 27th, the day in history recognized... The Roman Catholic Church recognized the Jesuits. Again, the day leaving 95 days left in the year with the purpose of countering the 95 Theses. What's the current CEO of... Google, Sundar Pichai, 201. You see the 123 in his name? Who owns Google? He's the CEO of Alphabet Company and Google. ABC 123. And go back and look and see what happened with him on December 3rd, 123. Again, all these big tech companies are Jesuit. Here's another coincidence for you. Tesla 78. Jesuit 78. What happened on the 78-year anniversary of the death of Nikola Tesla? Oh, it was announced that Elon Musk surpassed Jeff Bezos, another Jesuit puppet, as the richest man in the world. And if I recall, they said he was worth $191 billion that day. Billionaires 191, like Society of Jesus. You know. So anyway, SciManDan, I hope you can find a pair, and we should have that debate. I don't want to debate conspiracy cats. I don't know who that is. That's not the person who made a video addressed to an audience of 500,000 telling them that Gematria is bullshit, which is a deliberate lie. It's a deliberate lie. And you backing out at this point, again, I mean, maybe, again, you might be showing us why you're backing out. If this is all you can bring to the table, that guff and poop equals 121, just saying, and you think that's an argument, that will appeal to legions of lemmings, but that's not going to appeal to people with a brain. People with a brain are going to be like, I don't think so. Affordable Care Act, 121 days before Obama's birthday, and this guy has proofs like this, 1,000 times over for the federal government, which I do, every day, like I told you a week ago. The longer you wait to debate, Dan, just the more evidence going to pile up in my favor, going to make it all the harder for you to win, It's already mission impossible. You never would. But anyway, you guys see what it is with the big popular YouTube channels. They never talk about anything that matters. It's why they're allowed to have that's the only way to have a big platform on this channel. Otherwise, you get deleted every month like I do. All Google allows is nonsense. Cat videos. That's another thing SciManDan's in. SciManDan, have you ever done the science on supposedly, what is it, the bacteria in the cat poop that can infect human brains? You might want to look into that. That might be some science worth researching. It could be having an effect on you. I mean, this truly is a lame brain response right here. I forget what it is. I heard about it a few years back. Some kind of something in cat poop that really can have a negative impact on the human mind. I don't know. Looks like your mind's focused on poop. Call that the old shit for brains. But anyhow, I got a book to finish. We'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. And hold on, I got to say thank you. Some people managed to sneak some super chats in here. Let me figure out who that was and say thank you real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. But yeah, a little bit disappointed that right as going live, I saw the SciManDan tweet that he wanted his secretary to debate for him. A man who hides behind his lady. Hess85 with the $5 donation. Thank you so much. D26 creates one of these brilliant Indian minds. He says he needs help with a brief explanation on Jewish cipher. The Jewish cipher is based on the Latin order of the English letters before, the newer letters were invented. That's why the order's a little bit different, and it's arranged in tribute to Greek isopsephy and Hebrew gematria. That should be explained in my first book, Letters and Numbers, on the chapter on different ciphers. D26 Creates also says April 5th was 47th birthday of Satoshi Nakamoto. Hey, let's not forget how we called the Bitcoin price dead on April 5th, or for Valentine's Day 2021. We called that months in advance, why it would be at the certain price. Again, Bitcoin's completely Jesuit. All these big crypto coins are all Jesuit. It's all to excite people about this idea of electronic currency, to get them to go on board with the ongoing Jesuit plan. They want electronic currency so they can have total surveillance over you. But Nakamoto's got the 45 in his name. Bitcoin equals 45. And, of course, Ritual's 45. IHS is 45. But we noticed how Valentine's Day, the 45th day of the year, was going to be exactly 45 weeks after his 45th birthday. And we said, okay, Bitcoin's price, it was $30,000 at the time. We said it'll be worth at least $45,000, potentially as high as $50,000. And it was worth about $48,000 and something. And I mean, had you taken that advice, you would have made over 50% on your investment in just a couple months' time. And we've helped out some other people with some Bitcoin stuff along the way, like look for it to plateau and possibly fall off after this date, and it's done exactly that. Being aware of these Jesuit numbers and understanding the Jesuits control things like Bitcoin, you can see the way the rituals are orchestrated. So for all of you guys who think Bitcoin's the savior, you're dead wrong. It's just another Jesuit enterprise. They own this world. And again, that's why it's so secretive. And that's why the guy's birthday is all coded out. His birthday is April 5th. So, Satoshi Nakamoto, born April 5th. So he turned 45 April 5th, 2020. And look, this is exactly what we were looking at back then. Remember it like it was yesterday. April 5th, 2020 to Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2021, the 45th day of the year, exactly 45 weeks. And that's why it was so easy to predict that Bitcoin would accelerate up to at least 45,000, as it did. And what's Valentine's Day? Catholic Day, right? Catholics, Jesuits, calendar, language, rituals, gematria. Here, one more. Just to go to the most simple cipher. In light of gematria, meaning geometry and language, just think about this being a coincidence. If I write out 22 divided by 7, this is the mathematical shorthand for pi, 3.14. 22 divided by 7 is 314, right? Like pi, 3.14, geometry. If I write out 360, the degrees in a circle, it's 227. Like 22 divided by 7 gives you pi. If you really think these things are just a coincidence, I mean, again, go take a probability class. Right now, you're scoring an F. So, SciManDan, I'm gonna wish that your balls return to your body, and if not, again, just the latest guy to step up to the plate, and then ask for a pinch hitter before I started throwing the heaters. So, again, nobody on YouTube wants to touch gematria. They want to talk shit, but then they don't want to debate. And then they always want to make it about my personality and my attitude. I even saw Dan's handlers leaving comments. I don't know if you want to debate him, Dan. He has a bad reputation. According to what? A bad reputation according to who? People who don't know how to measure the worth of a man? I'm someone who's worked here for 9 years straight every day for the betterment of humanity to stop the most evil agenda there ever was and called nothing but spades about what was coming, you know? If you think I'm a bad person, you don't know how to evaluate a human being. You're likely a terrible human being because you can't even recognize what greatness is. So, anyway, we'll leave it there. And until next time.